Well, for today's topic, you might want to pour yourself a drink, a good, stiff, stout drink, similar to what I have here. My beverage of choice today, cider. No, 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 no. Not that stuff that you go to Winn Dixie, Publix, or Kroger, that homogenized apple water. Real cider. Cider that comes from the orchard, cider. Cider that hasn't been messed with, tampered with. In other words, cider with a little kick to it. Because it's the only way we're going to kick the falsehood from the truth when it comes to this election season. So we got a lot of things coming all into play at the same time. It's a perfect storm coming together. And the liberal pundits, the liberal posters, they think that they're reading the tea leaves in such a way that that's it. This is a slam dunk for Joe Biden. He can just sort of coast this one out. And even the bombshell of the Hunter Biden emails, they've got the media. Now, at first, they were ignoring the story. Now they're giving it cover by saying that it is Russian disinformation. So what has to happen over the next couple of weeks is there's just got to be a steady drip, drip, drip. More and more has got to come out. Actual emails people could see, read. Supposedly there's video clips that were on this Hunter Biden hard drive. And this has the potential. At some point, the media can't just ignore it. And they can't just say it's Russian disinformation, because as faux pas news, formerly known as Fox News, picks it up, and even Newsmax and Breitbart and some of the guys online, at some point there's going to be a hue and cry from regular people to say, well, what's going on here? CNN will have to say something. NBC will have to say something. ABC will have to say something. They're going to have to look at this. They're holding back because they feel like 4 years ago they gave a little bit of coverage to the Hillary email story and this little scandal and that little scandal, just so that they weren't accused of being overly biased. But they really thought she had the election as a slam dunk in the bag. And of course, when she lost, one of the things that she blamed was, the media attention on her. Yeah, right. So they've resolved this time to leave nothing to chance. So it wouldn't matter if they had video evidence of Joe Biden having committed murder and then raping a goat on video. They're just not going to talk about it. They're not going to show it. But if other media outlets begin to pick up on this and start revealing it, and this stuff gets out online, the mainstream lying legacy media, they'll try to spin it. I'm not saying they're going to portray it accurately, but they will have no choice but to cover it. And then once it's out there, once the masses in the American population see it, it will then have an effect. But that said, even without it, Biden's numbers are actually going in the wrong direction. So this little run out the clock thing that his campaign was doing, he's not going to do any campaign events till after this next debate. He doesn't start anything before 9 in the morning. He's done by like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. He doesn't have the mental acuity to keep up. He doesn't have the physical stamina to keep up. So what? If he were to be elected, he's going to be a president from 9 to noon? That's it? You have a guy like Donald Trump who has seamless, endless energy, who lives by a motto very similar to mine, that sleep is overrated. He's up at all strange hours of the day and night. And he's not just up wandering around, he's up getting things done. So it's imperative that the president make that case in this next debate. Now, I know some people are saying, why is he even doing this next debate? The way they've got it set up, the way they've got it structured, they're gonna mute the mics during the, each candidate's 2-minute answer. So you can't interject, you can't interrupt. Part of that, believe it or not, actually is not a bad thing. When Joe Biden starts to ramble, when he gets time to just talk, his mind wanders. Donald Trump actually helped him out in the last debate because when Trump would interrupt him, that was like a splash of cold water in Joe's face as he would start to wander a little bit, and it was like a snap back to reality. Now, the president, no doubt, will do a little different prep work for this coming debate, and I think he's going to really be on his game. The media thinks they've got him now. The debate commission thinks they've got him now. The Democrats think they've got him now. He'll never adjust to this debate style. He's going to constantly be trying to interrupt, and his mic is going to be muted, and it's going to be funny because we'll have the video clips and we can make memes out of it, and Saturday Night Live writers are standing by ready to write the skit for it. This is going to be great. He's going to shock everybody, and he's going to make mincemeat out of Joe Biden by not necessarily going on the verbal assault attack, but Donald Trump is going to set the record straight that he's done more in 4 years than Joe Biden ever got done in 47 years. And he's going to stick Joe Biden's racial record in his face about ending the desegregation of schools through busing because he didn't, quote, want his kids in a racial jungle. All the Ku Klux Klan members that Joe Biden worked with in the 1970s to get legislation passed. Trump is also going to get into it on Hunter Biden. And we all know this is a real story. This is not Russian disinformation. And I'm sorry, but Democrats, you shot your wad on that one. You have bored the American people with that. There was no there when it was the president, and now all of a sudden there's so-called intel individuals coming forward saying, yes, this Hunter Biden stuff, it's Russian propaganda, it's Russian misinformation. Well, where were these same so-called experts 4 years ago? Why weren't they telling us that the bought and paid for dossier that Hillary Rodham Clinton bought, how come these same experts couldn't tell us that dossier was fake, that was Russian disinformation? For 3 years, you took us down this hellhole of an endless investigation only to come up with nothing. The president was not impeached because there literally was no there. And now you're going to try to go back to that same well and tell us that this attack on Joe Biden and his spotless, shameless, blameless lamb of a son, Hunter, is Russian propaganda? Give me a break. That one doesn't even pass the laugh test, not even remotely. So you couple the fact that the president's poll numbers are coming up. We're seeing a repeat of 2016. Biden is going down. And I'm telling you, the president's going to do well in this next debate. This Hunter Biden email story is not going to go away. And the strategy here is not just to keep it moving forward, but they are going to have to be able to figure out a way to get the mainstream media to start talking about it. Because right now, they've either tried to ignore it or just pass it off as Russian disinformation. So that said, there's no doubt in my mind as other media outlets pick it up and run with it, the mainstream media will have no choice but to deal with it. And again, this perfect storm is all coming together. And I'm telling you, the pundits are missing it completely when it comes to Trump is going to flip Democrat states. He is. They want to focus on the states that they think Biden has a shot of flipping. There is no energy. There is no euphoria. There is no excitement for people to go vote for Joe Biden. Now, we know that the base and the rabid, foaming at the mouth libloons within the Democratic Party, we know that they're excited to go vote Trump out. But there's no groundswell of support. There's nothing that inspires people to vote for Biden. And even Democrats I'm talking to get it, that he's an empty suit and he's kind of hollow up here now. And even they're a little concerned. They don't want Kamala Harris, who thinks she's a hottie, to be the president. They don't want her. They don't want to go this far lib left direction. So this idea that he's going to flip states from red to blue, but what they're not watching, and that's fine, and I know they can write me off as this guy on the radio and on YouTube. Hey, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm telling you, Trump is going to flip some blue states. Look out New York. Look out California. I'm telling you. The police are going to vote overwhelmingly for Donald Trump and all their families. And even in these Democratic-held lockdown states, people are sick and tired of being locked down. The president is 100% right, and I said it first. And maybe somebody in his inner circle was telling him what I was saying. Blame this nightmare on Fauci, who has been all over the place. Talk about disinformation. And now people are sick of Fauci. The mainstream media still loves him because he says what they want to hear, which is, it's Trump's fault. He didn't do this right. He didn't do that right. And he's rushing a vaccine and it's going to kill people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the people, American people, are turned off now by the Fauci. And even liberals in liberal lockdown states, they're tired of being locked down. I've told you, even in California, they move there and they live there, not just because of the liberal policies, but these are people that I call them granola people. They want to jog and live that healthy lifestyle. And all you have to do is watch one episode of House Hunters to know that we want to walk everywhere. We want to walk downtown. We want to walk to the beach and be a part of a vibrant community and an outdoor life and outdoor dining, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They want that. They want to sit there and discuss their liberal utopian ideas and even, smoke a blunt and talk about defunding the police, but they want to do it without a mask. And they want to do it face to face, and they want all their friends together, and it might exceed, the state mandated guidelines of only 10 people, and they might be closer than 6 feet. And even the liberals have said, we're done with this. We're done with it. You can keep ramping up the horror music as we get close to Halloween and trying to scare us with the COVID numbers, but the facts do not bear out this narrative. It is not the death plague. 99% of the people who get it will survive. The mortality rate is less than the flu. More people will die of the regular flu. And I still contend that at least half of the corona deaths were actually the flu that got relabeled. So all of this is coming together. So don't be faint-hearted. Get to the polls. Get people to the polls. And then again, if you've got some people, the one area of the polls that are some concern to some real conservative prognosticators who really understand the science of polling, that gives them just a little bit of concern, is that people who voted for Trump in 2016, that he's lost about 7% of them. Well, go after him. You know who they are. Some of you have got family members. Some of you have got friends, relatives. Go after them. And again, you got to ask them, are you better off now than you were under Obama? How's your 401k? How's your retirement plan? And get them, because the only thing the Democrats have in this election, they're trying to drive a narrative of personality. They want to present Joe as grandpa. Yeah. When my grandfather got in his later years, we didn't trust him with the TV remote, let alone the nuclear codes. So, Joe Dementia Biden, the affable grandpa, who, you never know when he's going to have that Clint Eastwood moment, get off my lawn. That's just not going to sell. But that's their strategy. They want to try to present Joe as likable and, Trump is mean, rude, crude, racist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Get past the personalities. And with both candidates, look at what they've done. Who's actually gotten more accomplished? And who's gotten things accomplished that actually benefit you and have been good for America? Now, the things that Joe has gotten done, the crime bill, well, it destroyed the nucleus of the black family. And it disproportionately incarcerated black men and has destroyed the black community. Hey, Joe, way to go. Take a victory lap on that. He didn't want schools desegregated, especially if it meant his children had to go to a, quote, racial jungle. He was a big part of the push for NAFTA, which sent all of our jobs overseas. And don't think for a moment that he hasn't made millions in his own pocket by his business dealings with China and the Ukraine. Come on. And then look at what the president's done, and then make yourself a list of not who you're voting for, but what you're voting for. Me, I'm voting for the preservation of the First Amendment. That first of all, as a pastor, my church can gather and worship without restriction and without hindrance. Because I'm constitutionally guaranteed that right, the freedom of assembly to worship. I also want freedom of speech in that First Amendment, which includes on social media platforms. I want my Second Amendment protected. Do I think Joe Biden will protect my Second Amendment? No. I want my country protected. I want my borders protected. I want the economy solidly protected, which means I don't want to be giving everything up to go on this nutso crusade of the Green New Deal and ending fracking and destroying entire industries like the coal industry and the oil industry. You talk about what that will do to our economy. And please, please tell me you're not dumb enough and you're not gullible enough and you're not naive enough to fall for the, we're only going to tax the rich. Rich people know how to protect their money. They don't pay the tax. What they will do, though, is with the companies they own, stores they own, services they provide, they will pass the tax increase on to you and me, the consumer and the customer. We will pay the tax increase. Maybe not by something printed from the IRS mailed to our door, but the way our cost of living will go up. Joe Biden is a job and economic killer. So get past, I don't like Orange Man. I don't like the things he says. I don't like the things he tweets. Then don't vote for him, the person. Vote for what he's done. Vote for the policies he's given us. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and a like. Share this to your social media platforms. Smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.